Well, welcome back to my review video, where today we are gonna be featuring a carrier from the Royal Navy, and yes, another British ship in the series. I told you guys I'm not biased. Formidable. So, why her then? Cause the British built the greatest ships in the world. Actually, I got land from the event, so in return I'll cover a British ship, just bear with me on this. Let's cover her history first. Formidable is an air carrier, and she is an illustrious class, meaning that she is one of Illustrious's sisters. Completed in the late 1940 at Harland and Wolff, the same place as the famous ship RMS Clickbait. She accidentally launches herself from the slipway, that relates to a joke about her in-game. She also collided with Illustrious. I'm just gonna leave that to you, do whatever you want with that information, it's all up to you. Continuing on, she participated in a lot of missions during the second round of world dominance, because one nation felt salty after losing in the first round. She made several attacks on torpedoes in Norway, then sent to the Pacific side where she played a supporting role during the Battle of Okinawa, and later attacked targets in the Japanese home islands. Then after the war ended, she remained for a few years, then sadly scrapped in 1953. What a sad ending. But don't worry, we have her in Azur Lane. Formidable is a super rare character, where back then you could only get her in an event, but now she's available in the special construction. So prepare to waste your cubes, or exchange her in medal or acquisition. For her stats I'm going to base on her full level. So, health-wise she sits around 6,634. That is quite a decent number, but not great, since her sister has more health than her, and she even got beaten by a collab ship. Unacceptable, those are not even real ships. Don't even get me started on her. Next is the Aviation, with 419 points. That is good, but remember she has a Muse version, where she is beaten by 5 more, but who cares about Muses anyway, since the real deal is much better. For the anti-air, she only got 295 points, decent enough to take on houseflies for a while, but not for long. So I suggest you take some anti-air ships with you. Her reload is something else. You see that she has the same stat as Illustrious with 119 points, but the best part is that she has the skill to boost that, making her reload much faster than that of Lusty. And finally her evasion, 53 points, much more than what I got on my job test, but not the best as her other sisters. But hey, there is still a bright side to all of these. For her in-game performance, Formidable is really good, I would say, if not better than that other one. Calm down. Put your pew-pew away. Anyways, like I said, she's really good. She helps in defeating the enemies and progressing the game, and the way she attacks is exceptional. After my battleship has delivered their damage, then she delivers her own as well. Perfect combination, I would say. She's also a bit tanky, but not too tanky. Well, that's a given coming from what her sisters are known for at that time. What I mean is that even if she has a lot of HP she will still suffer from ambush, and that's one of her downsides. But if you have Queen Elizabeth in the fleet with her mighty skill perk, that issue will be fixed, I reckon. Her damage delivery is also worth mentioning. The way that she can sometimes wipe an entire enemy fleet is amazing. She can deliver multiple damage that can send the enemies shaking, and deletes them in an instant, if you use a dive-in torpedo bomber of course. Side note, never make her, or even other air carriers as a flagship for that matter. It's a bad idea, that can send you copping for 4 hours straight. And let's talk a little bit about her personality, shall we? Formidable comes out as a bit ladylike at first, but when you oath her, she becomes like a spoiled little sister, if that makes sense. But all in all, she is still lovable either way. Let's talk about her skills. Formidable has a total of 3 perks, 1 attack, 1 support, and 1 defense. First one is supporting wings. She will increase her own aviation by 15%, and if you equip her at least 1 fairy albacore, they will gain an additional 15% efficiency, and will 100% launch another wave of albacore that can deal 80% chance to inflict flooding to the enemies for 9 seconds. This is centered upon the fairy albacores. You at least put 1. Even if they are not the best torpedo bomber out there, I guarantee you that it will be worth it, and that satisfaction you get when to activate that 80% flooding damage is rewarding nonetheless. Next one is, don't move an inch. Basically it's as that explains, she has a 80% chance to slow enemy's speed for 1.5 seconds, and will regain it for the next 2.5 seconds, and this skill will activate on the first airstrike. In a nutshell, she will stop the enemy, bombard them with bombs and torpedoes, and then move time again. Yeah, this is a straight up JoJo reference skill, but with a ship girl. This is a great skill to have, especially when it's time to wrap up the battle. It's always handy when you need it. And finally, Armored Hangar, a skill that reduced the damage she took by 80%, and when she launched an airstrike she will also decrease the damage taken by other ships in the main fleet by 8% for a good 10 seconds. So this comes out as a sort of a protection skill, but not really. Still handy, would say though. Nothing much more to say on this one. Her skills have some really good gimmick, especially the support one. It really brings out Formidable's might in battle. You know what is also great? Pairing her up with... Before we continue, I realized that during the equipment section on my other videos, I always speedrun this part, like how I did college. So moving forward I will try to explain each and every equipment in depth to the best of my ability. So if I ever made some mistakes, please don't hesitate to point it out, because I will always try to improve my content. Now let's talk about the equipment. For the first slot, you can equip fighters or dive bombers. If you're going to put fighters, the Sea Fang, the de Havilland Sea Hornet, and the Grumman Hellcat, they have good damage output and helps eliminate enemy aircrafts, so you have a great view from the sky. If you're going in a different route, which is dive bombers, you can take the Douglas BTD-1, the 1771 NAS, and the 831 Ferry Barracuda. They can deliver damage and help eliminate the enemy fleet. I suggest really you go with the dive bombers to get the best out of Formidable. Leave the fighters on the other carrier in your fleet, because more dive bombers means easy to wipe the enemy out with no survivors. Next is the torpedo bombers. You have to at least put one Ferry Albacore to activate her skill, and then the Ferry Barracuda, the most recommended torpedo bomber 4 years ago. They are still good torpedo bombers in the game. Also, the Sky Pirate XTB second one is also a good option to equip, if you have it, since it has good damage output, at least according to the wiki. I don't have one to try, and you better off trusting the wiki, since they put much effort on researching than me. Lastly, the auxiliary. Normally you can take 2 steam catapults, but I suggest you exchange one catapult with a homing beacon to reduce her reload a bit, since like I said she can't deliver her damage if the other team has finished their supper. You can also take repair toolkit if you want, because there are times she struggles to keep herself alive in battles, especially if you don't have Queen Elizabeth and her glorious skill in the fleet. And that wraps up the equipment section. Some final words on Formidable. She is a good air carrier in the game, despite some few setbacks, and that time stop skill is really handy on wiping out enemy team. But there is also another aircraft carrier out there rivaling her. Let's not talk about that for now, since that will end up on a 4-page yapping script. So go out there and enjoy some quality tea time with her while listening to some rock music. I'll hit the sack for now, since this video took me a solid day to do. Anyways, this is your friendly robot voice, signing off.